Please recognize Representative Shelton for presentation of HCR 1028.
Clerk will read.
HCR 1028 by Shelton of the House and Johnson Constance of the Senate, a resolution honoring and commending Francis M. Percival.
Thank you, members. I have had some great times in this body, and this is definitely highlights one of those moments. For those that may not know, I'm a proud graduate of Millwood High School, and every time that Millwood either has beat one of your schools in state championship or we have been here to applaud Millwood. But today we're here for just a little bit something different, to honor one of the all-time greatest volunteer supporters of Millwood. But not only that, she is a school board member. She has been a continuous volunteer for Millwood for over 52 years. The most wonderful part about this whole thing, she had no idea why she was here today. And she is just realizing that this is all about her.
That's right.
Not only has she volunteered for some 52 years, but she has been a school board member for 44 of those years, making her the longest serving elected official in the United States history. So we wanted to take a moment to honor Francis Percival, a volunteer extraordinaire. And Mr. Speaker, if you would allow the clerk to read the House Concurrent Resolution.
Clerk will read the resolution.
Whereas Francis M. Stevenson Percival, a 1946 graduate of Central High School and former president and chairperson of Central High School Board of Directors, was recognized for 52 years of service as a Millwood School District volunteer and for serving as a member of the Millwood Public Schools Board of Education since 1970. During her uninterrupted 44-year tenure, she has served numerous times in a variety of offices. She was re-elected president of the board in March 2010, and whereas this community servant began her service in the district as a volunteer in 1958. She served selflessly as classroom assistant office aide, cafeteria monitor, patron telephone book editor, and held a PTA office. And whereas Mrs. Percival represents the Millwood Public Schools Board of Education on the Oklahoma State School Boards Association as a District 6 director. As a board director, she has served on the Conference and Workshop Committee, Public Relations Committee, and Government Relations Committee. She has actively participated in the Federal Relations Network and the State Legislative Network. And whereas Mrs. Percival has been recognized by the Oklahoma School Public Relations Association as a partner for excellence. She was honored by the OSSBA with a Distinguished Service Award in 1976, All-State School Board Award in 1993, and the Buddy Spencer Leadership Award in 1993. She received the Central High School Alumni Association Heritage Award June 13, 1992. And whereas as the National School Boards Association convention in San Francisco, California in 1980, the Millwood Public Schools Board presented Mrs. Percival a plaque in recognition of her dedicated and tenacious service to the Millwood Board of Education as clerk 1974 to 1980. 17 years later, in 1997, the NSBA recognized Mrs. Percival for her outstanding commitment to public education through proven school board leadership. She received the National School Boards Association Award for Distinguished Service. And whereas Francis M. Percival was instrumental in the first Oklahoma City public school uniform dress code implemented at Millwood, she was very active in the development of the Millwood Arts Academy and the Freshman Academy. And whereas on August 6, 2010, the new Millwood High School and Francis M. Percival Media Center were dedicated. Now therefore be it resolved by the House of Representatives of the second session of the 54th Oklahoma Legislature, the Senate concurring therein, that the Oklahoma Legislature does hereby honor and commend Frances M. Percival for being the longest-serving school board member in the history of the state of Oklahoma, for being the longest-serving female elected official in the United States, and for her many contributions to the Millwood School District in the state of Oklahoma, and that a copy of this resolution be distributed to Frances M. Percival and the Millwood Public Schools Board of Education.
Thank you. Thank you. Today, Miss Percival, she didn't realize why her kids came into town all of a sudden on the other day, but they did show up. We have our son Kent that's here and our daughter Terrell that is here, and she's up there, and we're happy to have them. But we also are privileged to have Sean Heim, which is the executive director of the State School Board Association.
Thank you, Representative
John,
Jackson.
you're recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Frances should be an inspiration to all of us. Not only has she been elected by the citizens of Millwood for 44 years, her peer school board members across the state have elected her to the board of directors for the Oklahoma State School Boards Association for over 25 years. Frances, we thank you for your service.
Ms. Percival, you're recognized.
I never thought I would be to the place where I couldn't say something, but I believe I have reached it. It has truly been my privilege to serve the Millwood School District. My daughter, who's sitting in the audience, when she was 4 years old, in 1958, we packed her little school satchel and we went up and volunteered. Now, sometimes we didn't stay all day, but we were there for our students. She graduated and went on to high school. Our son spent 13 years at Millwood. Millwood means so much to me and was also to my husband. But truly, without words to express, this is truly the greatest honor I have ever received. Awesome. And it's And when I go up to the school, and here's this, the biggest, strongest football player that you've ever seen, or the smallest little one, and they come up and put their arms around you, I just melt.
I probably shouldn't say this, but with 44 years of service, 52 years of volunteer service, she's about to turn 86 years old, she is 86. She is 86. And so we are happy to have her here. We have a host of friends that have joined us on the south side of the chamber. We have the Millwood School Board. We have some Millwood volunteers as well as administrators of Millwood and friends. So please be recognized. And the State School Board Association is also here. Would you all please stand and be recognized by the House of Representatives?
Representative Shelton requests unanimous consent that the resolution be adopted without objection. That'll be the order. Representative Shelton, you're recognized.
And this is the final thing. We have some business over in the Senate, but we have a small reception of cake and punch in the back that we would like to share with all of you in a couple minutes. So feel free to come back to the House Lounge. And Mr. Speaker, would you please make all members co-author of the House Concurrent Resolution?
Members, you've heard the motion. Without objection, that'll be the order.
Thank you, members.